And now we want to add a material to this little sweep that we've got around here. If we go SD on the keyboard, oh, it's asking me to save. I'm just going to hit cancel. If I go SD on the keyboard, it's going to shade that, but you know, I haven't really given that so any material. It's using the default material. Okay, so let's go in and have a look at our material. So if we go to manage on the top, go to our great materials button over here, we've got all the materials that are in this project, and you can also import materials using the transfer project standards from one project to the next. So I'm going to go in here and create a new material. So I'm going to say okay, that's the material it's using right now, default, and I'm simply going to go down here and say duplicate, which is how you make a new material. And I'm just going to call this arch trim. That's the name of my new material, and I hit OK. So there's my new material. From there, I'm going to go over here to my rendered appearance, and I can say, well, I don't like this material. I'm going to say replace. So from inside of there, I'm going to go down and say, well, let's have a look at what we've got stone-wise. So I can look at stone, and I can say, okay, well, coarse polished stone, green polish just for the fun of it. And then, pick your material and hit OK. After you've done that, you can go back to graphics and say use rendered material as the closest color code. So it's going to, in shaded mode, which is what it's in right now, it'll be green. And when you render it, it'll look like that. And we've got all kinds of extra properties we can do with our material on there. So we have a look at the materials, create the material first, doing that. Now that we have the material ready, or you can use it, you don't have to, you can use one of the built-in materials. What you do is this: you pick on your in-place family, you go in and say edit the in-place family. Once again, clicking out here, within this in-place family, we only have one sweep, but I can have all kinds of revolves and blends, and I can put a keystone in there, and I can do all kinds of neat stuff and have that all contained within this one in-place family. So what I'm going to do here now is I've already clicked on the in-place family and said edit in-place family. I'm in the in-place family editor right now. You can tell because I have these buttons over here. Okay, I'm going to pick on this particular sweep because you can have different objects with different materials, and I'm going to go over here where it says material, and I'm just going to pick the inside button. Note that I picked this button, not this one. This is a parameter button. Okay, not quite the same. We have lessons on that, but we're just going to pick off our project material. So I pick on here, and it is going to remember the last material and actually highlight the last material that I was attending to. And I can pick different materials. I can actually go duplicate and create the material right here inside of this this dialog box. Okay, so I'm going to say arch trim. That's my material. Hit OK. Click out. Now it's going to put that material, apply it to that object, and I say finish, and then I'm done. Now let's add a little bit of material maybe to the outside of this, and we'll do a little render. So we'll say okay, let's use my paint bucket. Again, it's going to show my materials, and I'm going to go in here and pick a brick. Do we have masonry brick here? Masonry brick, and I'm going to go paint, boom. Okay, and then I can hit modify, escape. Now I can pick my wall, drag this down a little bit. Okay, and I can use my window and grab these guys and nudge them around however I want. Okay, click out, zoom in, and then we can get ready to do a render. Now I see that that is kind of poking through, and I'm wondering if that did not get moved. Let's click on this in-place family and say in edit. You see, to make it move, I had to say edit in-place family again and finish, just like I did the last time when I updated the arch. So there's a neat little trick. When you want to update it, click on it, simply say edit in place, because it didn't move when I moved the opening. Okay, let's try that again. Let's do a great big window. I'm going to use a shift nudge to move that down. Okay, now I need to pick on this guy and say edit in place, bumps it down, finish. Pretty cool. Okay, now what we want to do is do a little bit of a rendering of this. Okay, so let's go in and hit our render button here. We'll come back in our next lesson and we'll do a little rendering of this.